Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Disney influencers. We're going to talk about Instagram wine moms. We're going to talk about the decline in ad revenue and how we're probably going to see an apocalypse in the, I guess, travel influencer section 2.
In the verticals.
In addition to multiple websites laying people off. It all comes back to the advertising revenue not being there anymore because so many big spenders like Disney aren't spending money.
Nope.
They don't have it to spend. They're in the whole this situation we're in right now with the virus has shut so many businesses that the last thing people are thinking about is spending money to advertise, especially if you're in a vertical, an industry that depends on large groups of people.
Right.
So we're going to talk about the coming potential Disney Instagram influencer apocalypse.
Couldn't come soon enough.
And then we're going to talk about some other websites that are hemorrhaging people. They're losing people. They're laying off. I talked a little bit about it the other day about comic book resources cutting back on its rates to freelancers. And, I think this whole thing with Disney running out of money and a lot of these movie studios running out of money explains why some of these websites are doing a 180.
Right. Yeah, suddenly, they're not white knighting for these places anymore. They're trying to take more of a fan opinion towards, what's going on.
Yeah, and we thought it was very weird. And we've been calling it out for a couple weeks now. We're like, what the hell is going on here?
I caught it first, and I kept sending it to you, and I'm like, wow, look at this. Look at this. I'm like, yeah, come on,
Like last year, they would have completely blindly defended Disney or Warner Brothers or whoever was paying them because they know where their ad revenue comes from. It comes from the movie studios,
And the media access comes from.
And the media access, and we know firsthand, having worked as a professional Disney influencer, we know firsthand that you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Even if you want to.
Even if you want to.
So we just said, F that, and now we can say whatever we want.
Yeah, so some people not so lucky. Some people literally...
We can bite whoever.
We can bite whoever we want to. Like a rabid child. But some people not so lucky. Some people have literally packed up their entire life and moved to Orlando or Anaheim.
I've seen it.
Just to cover Disney stuff. Just to live stream the parks. Just to talk about the theme parks. And they could be dead in the water at this point. And I'm not doing this to make fun of these people. I actually know some of these people. And they're not bad people. They really love theme parks. But I'm like, there was no plan B.
Yeah.
And now we're going to talk about how many media outlets are talking that the Instagram bubble has burst. That it was starting to kind of decline even before the virus.
Instagram is just getting so far up its own butt. It was ridiculous. I mean, some of these people, they're constantly just putting pictures of themselves up. And it's like, no one wants to see that all the time.
Yeah, well, they talk about that. That's one thing that they were talking about in one of these articles I'm going to pull up. I think it was Vanity Fair, talking about how tone-deaf Instagram influencers look during the pandemic. Like they're modeling their masks and they're in front of the empty grocery stores, or they're doing the opposite and they're like, look at me being all glamour out in public. I'm going out in public. I'm not social distancing like I should.
Or they're whining because they didn't get their, Run Disney event this month. Or, oh no, I got to tell my kids I can't go to Disney again for the 10th time this weekend. Oh my God. And it's like, people are like, really? That's your takeaway? Really?
Yeah, this pisses me off. And we've talked about this before. We've gone out to Disney message boards. And we've seen these conversations where you've got a bunch of Karens out there complaining that they don't get to take their 5th trip to Disney World this year.
Glug, glug, glug. Oh my God. My kids just went in January, but now I gotta tell them they're not going again this week. Glug, 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 glug. It's like, really? There's some kids who don't get to go at all, or they might have got one trip and this was gonna be it. And now they're gonna lose this one trip because the parks are canceled and their parents don't have a job.
Yep.
You just grow a pair and shut up.
Meanwhile, almost 77,000 workers at Walt Disney World are gonna be out of work.
Yeah.
And we've got people dying. And it's a really bad thing. But again, people are calling out the Instagram influencers for being completely tone deaf.
They are. They're completely tone deaf.
There was one, I saw the article. I don't have it pulled up, but there's a guy who was a food blogger. And he was so mad he couldn't go to restaurants that he literally was calling up restaurants and asking them to make him meals and send them to him. Asking them to send wine so he could review the wine and stuff. And people are like, oh my God, we had to shut our doors because we weren't allowed to have people in here. We don't know how we're going to pay our bills. and this guy wants us to send him a case of wine.
Yeah.
So he has something to picture, take a picture of himself doing.
Yeah, I know. And
what the hell is wrong with you?
Always have a plan B. Always have a plan B. And if Instagram was your plan A, I could have told you 2 years ago that was a bad plan A.
Yeah, so just some of the articles I'm going to talk about briefly here. Business Insider, April 8th, how the coronavirus is changing the influencer business according to marketers and top Instagram and YouTube.
Oh, look, she
creators.
has a wine glass in her hand.
Look at that. These look like the
and
bungalows.
A bottle.
Yep.
Glug, 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 glug.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you.
This is a Disney Karen right here. She looks like she's in the Caribbean or something, or at the Polynesian bungalows. I don't think that's Polynesian.
No, it looks like the Caribbean.
We've got Vanity Fair saying, is this the end of influencing as we know it? Yes. The short answer is yes. You read the article, they talk about how a lot of marketers, a lot of people were falling out of love with influencers because they can see through it.
Yeah. The narcissism is off the charts. If you're constantly putting pictures of your damn self up, I mean, come on. People get tired of, they don't want to see you all the time. Teach them something else. Show something else.
Yeah, or you have people that are out there, gloating about, like, look at my magnificent kitchen. I'm going to show you how to do some. And people are sitting there like, I just lost my job last week, and I can't even get toilet paper, and you're going to show me how to roast a duck. That's great. So people are starting to fall out of love with the Instagram thing. And look, let's be honest, Instagram influencers for the most part they started out being legit, and they became very fake. When you're on the take from a company, you always have to say nice things.
Yes, it becomes very obvious that you're not real. And that's what we see a lot with the Disney crap. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. When they're sitting there looking over your shoulder at the media events to make sure you hashtag it with the right hashtags, and now is it Disney Magical Moments because their new website is something like that, it's their new hashtag, so you see everybody with the same hashtag. You know damn well they're about as, trustworthy as nothing.
Well, now Disney is trying to cash in on YouTube all of a sudden. They're like, let's do YouTube stuff now because that seems to be working. Let's do that. But here, look, I talked about how the ad revenue is in steep decline, and that influences everything. The influencer model, these websites, all of it bankrolled by advertising. Disney sites in particular, bankrolled by the travel vertical. This was sent out by one of our advertising networks. This is actually the second or third email like this that I've gotten just this morning. This came in saying that travel advertisers are down. And that's one of our networks. We actually work with multiple networks. One of the biggest one we work with said that you can expect a 70% decline in banner ad revenue over the next couple of months. And it's the banner ads that keep these websites online that pay for influencers. If it's not that a lot of times they're paid directly from the companies. Like, for example, Disney gives out co-op money to agencies and, who have blog tie-ins and stuff to help pay for the blogs. And, if Disney can't pay their people, why the hell are they going to pay, these co-op money? And, they might continue. But if they do, it's very tone deaf and asinine. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But just last year, there were articles talking about how, oh my God, look at all these people making a living just going to Disney World. I remember. It was all pictures of themselves. And it was so funny because Disney has been relying more and more on Instagram, which even they had asked the people who actually sell the trips, they would tell them they don't get bookings from Instagram. No. Instagram is just a bunch of people it's looky me culture. It's all about me. Here's a picture of me here, here's a picture of me there. I'm posing again. People don't care. They're not going to book a trip off of pictures of yourself with mouse ears. It's just not going to happen. And the top agents would have told them that if they had actually stopped to ask them. Yeah, but they don't. Disney, for some reason, because I can tell you, as somebody who's been at multiple Disney media shindigs, the people running their media department, they're like in their early 20s. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like whatever they like, whatever they're into, that's what they're pushing. Well, when we see some of these places throw people who know what they're doing here overboard for stupid, wine mamas who are very narcissistic and about themselves all the damn time. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I am talking about who you think I'm talking about. Very narcissistic. Here I am. Here, me, my picture, me. I got media access. I did this. No, you didn't. We did all of it. But we got third on board because Disney said they wanted wine mom influencers. Well, this is where things are going to change because we're going to go down the mouse hole here. And the money's not there. And this is coming from Business Insider, and there are many other blogs that are echoing this today. Advertising networks are echoing this. They said influencers have seen their sponsorship deals shut down and events canceled. because they're running out of money. Influencer marketing agencies are seeing brands postpone campaigns. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
We see like the cons and conventions and things are all being shut down. They're tied into pop culture and all that. They're being shut down. So, I mean, you know, of course we're seeing, you know, tie-ins, commercials, advertising, brand deals, all that dry up. I mean, except for like certain verticals that, you know, are actually doing well right now. Luckily, those are the ones who usually advertise on places like YouTube.
Yeah, tech's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not doing good. So if your sole, you know, income is based on travel, especially, you know, you might want to look at other things because you might be completely effed.
Yep. Travel influencers are especially hard hit. Same article. I think a lot of people in travel are holding their breath. This is an Instagram influencer. Of course they are. Look at the travel advertising.
It gets better. It gets better, guys, because California, the governor of California basically said that until they get the curve flattened or until they get a vaccine for the thing, are we allowed to talk about it now?
Yeah, we can.
For the coronavirus, they might keep the crowded places shut. And they're saying that could be the end of summer. Other people are saying it could be longer. I know WW News today actually said that the
Florida is saying
the Surgeon General of Florida made the comment that it could be a year away till we get a vaccine. This could be a new normal, you know, with wearing masks and having, you know, crowds controlled and stuff for a year. I mean, I don't think it's going to go that far, but we're talking that it could be months yet until things could even then it's going to be rolled out in small amounts. They're talking about the California, that you might have menus that are disposable. Your waiters might all be wearing masks and gloves. You're going to have to wear masks when you eat, and they're going to be like limiting capacity to restaurants, like half of what's allowed, or you know, even less. That's what we're going to expect going forward with the parks opening. So especially when it comes to Disney parks, and people are banking on that, you guys might be in trouble because it might be months until they can actually, you know, make enough money off it to pay for you.
That's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, because Disney, they're already saying they're going to cut back, right? So I put this section up here. Disney's going to look different on the other side. Mickey might be too broke to pay for those influencers. Now, disclaimer. We worked for another blog. We actually helped found another blog.
We built the whole damn thing, basically.
Yeah, we did. We built the whole thing in conjunction with the travel agency. We've talked about it a little bit before. But anyway, we had media access at this blog, and Disney spent big bucks to fly people in from all over the country to come to their openings for their different lands, to wine them and dine them.
Well, when they opened Toy Story, you said there were people from Boston that was a radio station. They're like, I don't even go to Disney, but they paid for us to come down to cover it.
Yeah, they were just throwing money at influencers, at media, and I guarantee you, if they're doing it for travel-based websites, they're absolutely doing it for pop culture websites too that cover Star Wars and Marvel.
I know, because a lot of them got access to Galaxy's Edge, and they still are. Like, I know comicbook.com got to go into some preview for the Avengers campus.
Yeah, I think that's going to end, or at least the money flowing like water is going to end. They might still have people come in for previews. I think
they'll still do previews and media because they need it. They need the media, but they're not going to be shelling out the rewards and the, you know, incentives that they were.
Yeah, I mean, I went to one event. It was like 3 days long. They put me in an expensive hotel. They took us to a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff. They spent God knows how many thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think they're going to be like, I even have to wonder if their social media people are going to be there when they open back up, because they're not really necessary.
Well, not just that, but a lot of people who are cast members at these places that said that people are being laid off, that people aren't coming back, that they're so upset about everything that they might not return. And someone who's social media, they can go get a job someplace else and probably get paid, you know, as much money, if not more. And, you know, they'll do that.
I'd go, if I could, you know, I'd be like, go work for a video game company or something, because
that's more secure right now.
Yeah, Netflix or something. You know, you can go work there. But I mean, this whole thing is so cliche. They even had a documentary on a few years ago called The Dream Finders about people moving to Orlando just to cover Disney parks. And now
they want us to move to Orlando.
Yes, we thought
no, I didn't want to. It was like, hell no.
We entertained the possibility. People move down to Florida.
We wouldn't do it.
No, just to do this. And some of the people in this documentary, I actually know, and I actually like them quite a bit. I know Big Fat Panda's in here, and I've hung out with him before. Very nice guy. And, you know, so, I mean, I am sad in that regard that there are people who do this that are good people that are going to get
There are a lot of good people who are going to get caught up in it. But a lot of these there's also a lot of trolls who are going to get caught up in it, too.
Yeah, there are some people who are you know, they play the game. They pretend to be nice. They pretend to be magical, and they're actually complete a-holes. And there are a lot of them, you know. But anyway, here's the thing. People are expecting Disney to go back to normal. New York Times just did an article we talked about. Disney is literally fighting for its life right now. And if the parks have to stay shut for, God forbid, they might stay shut for like a 6 months or a year.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to stay shut that long. I mean, I could see it to the end of summer.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see it to fall. And that could be 6 months. So
they had to borrow $12 billion just to be able to keep the damn lights on.
Well, I'm hoping that's not the case.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people. Again, 77,000 people out of work. A lot of them very, very good people.
That's a whole debate right there on that article, too.
Yeah. Because they're jumping line for...
Well, they're not jumping line. What's going on is 77,000 people are getting furloughed from Walt Disney World on the 19th. And so now the governor, because the unemployment system's already rocky and not working half the time, wants to go ahead and automatically have these people inputted so they don't have to go through the, do it yourself thing like everybody else had to.
Right.
And the problem is that everybody else who had to go put their own stuff in, some of them couldn't get through. So there's people who've been laid off for a while that can't get anywhere because the system keeps breaking, but they're going to go ahead and let these people through. And they said no one's going to jump line, but I don't see how that's possible. No one's going to go to the front of the line when there's people who aren't being automatically inputted, who are waiting and still can't get through. There obviously people are going to get in front of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know a solution that's fair to everyone because I understand both sides of this. I really do. I can see why people are upset on both sides. And it's a no-win situation because the system keeps going down. They're doing their best to keep up with it. But what they're doing this to try to avoid a big collapse.
Yeah.
But by doing this, it might put people in front of other people who've been waiting longer and can't get through. So it's a mess. Now, however, the federal funding, $600 a week, did start as of yesterday. So they're getting that through. Okay. But it's just a big mess. You can go out to piratesandprincesses.net and read about it. It's right there.
Yeah. So look, the last thing that Disney is going to think about when they've got this mess to deal with is whether or not they're going to throw, some free cupcakes at wine moms.
Oh God, and they'd have to check your hashtags and everything.
Yeah.
You would see food all the time. And then, and there was rules about the food. Like, these products can be put up now, but these products couldn't be put up now. And this one has this date and this one has that date, and you can't put them up until these dates. It was insane.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. They were very, look, again, people have all these speculations about, Disney buying off blogs. And I can tell you, even if they're not just slipping them a Mickey money, they're definitely giving them access. That's how they work. I can 100% verify that. We've been there. We know how it works. They read every damn thing you write to make sure that it's. And
if you want to keep your access or you want to get it in the first place, you have to be nice and say all the right things.
Right.
You'll see these bloggers out there telling you how to get immediate access on mommy blogs. Well, make sure you're all positive and say only nice things. Well, you know what? Sometimes things aren't that great. And people should be allowed to say things aren't that great. And sometimes people are allowed to, but they've been in the program for years.
Yeah.
So they've gotten to a position where they need them more than, Disney needs them more than they need Disney.
Yeah. And
they're allowed to say what they want to say. But most people don't get to say what they want to say, which was a big problem for us because we don't like to be told we can't say things. So
this actually works out better for us. And thank God things worked out the way they did, or we would be completely screwed at this point.
I guarantee we would have been thrown overboard immediately.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you think there's money coming from Disney, they're Disney influencers. Bob Iger talked to the New York Times, and he told his associates, look across the business and permanently change how it operates. That's what he's looking to do.
They're looking for cuts. They're looking whatever, what Chapek would do normally, what the cut. And, sometimes, I just think it's kind of stupid. If you have people that they're basing their entire business off of booking trips to Disney, right? Their expenses for blogs or for advertising or all that should be their expenses. Any other business, that's your expenses. That's business expense. I mean, the fact that they give them money at all was a surprise to me because I'm like, why are you giving,
So they can control the media. It's
right, pretty much.
Basically, Disney can't outright control the media. Well, they do. I mean, ABC is basically one big show.
Oh, and Good Morning America is the Disney show. But.
Yeah, but what they do is to control the narrative, they started going out to the fan sites, a lot of which are bankrolled by travel agencies, and they started using the travel agencies to control the news. Mm-hmm. So you didn't have the negative news.
That's why you have all these sponsorships on blogs.
Right. And then, again, it's the influencer marketing thing. But then when you have blogs break rank, like WDW News Today, then Disney personally attacks them to try to discredit them, because that's one blog they can't buy off.
Right.
And they have a lot of weight.
PiratesandPrincesses.net is another blog
They can't buy off. So, they're actually ending expensive old school television practices like advertising upfronts, big ad spends, and producing pilots for programs that may never air. So basically at this point, it used to be like, we're going to make a pilot, we're going to see how it does. If it does well, we'll pick up the show. Now they're going straight to, we're making the show or we're not. We're not even going to waste our time.
I don't even think they're doing that now. It's funny to me because they're doing a new show. I don't think I pulled it up, but I know the information. It's called Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian. So they're going to do this show. And it's going to start on May the 4th, of course,
right.
Star Wars Day. And what it's going to be is Favreau and the cast and crew and unseen footage and stories and all this stuff. And they're making an eight episode documentary about it for Disney Plus. They just announced it. Well, basically what it sounds like to me is, shit, we need content. We need to keep The Mandalorian top of mind. So we're just going to put this show together with stuff that would normally, as you said, be considered extras on a DVD.
Yeah,
and turn it into a TV show. So now they're out there taking stuff they would normally put on, other things, and they're turning them into shows, and they're trying to scrape together where they can because they want to keep the subscriptions coming in. And, a lot of subscribers left after The Mandalorian, and then they're trying to get them back in. So that's what they're doing now. They're scrambling to find things, to fill in space.
Disney Plus was supposed to be the next big thing for Disney, right? But it was also going to be a slow burn. It was going to take them like 4 years to get things up and running. They slammed it out as fast as they could. They launched it without nearly enough original content. Mm-hmm. And now so many of those shows are dead in the water.
Right, because a lot of the content's not coming till like later this year, next year. And now that's being pushed back.
And meanwhile, we've got all these other services that are going to be launching in the next couple months that are kind of nipping at their heels, like HBO Max and Peacock and all these other ones. And so, they're just scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point to get up whatever they can.
On a side note, another thing they announced today associated with The Mandalorian was that Baby Yoda is out at Build-A-Bear.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Right here. Go right there. Baby Yoda is now available at Build-A-Bear for a package, and it has 5-in-1 child sounds, which get really annoying after a while.
5-in-1 child sounds.
Okay, there's 5-in-1 sounds. So there's 5 different. Like when you get this little sound chip and you put it in. Well, this one has 5 little Baby Yoda, and chicken nuggies is not one of them. Just pointing that out. Go ahead.
Disclaimer: we bought one to hang out with Bun Solo. Just putting it out there.
We're gonna review that when it comes. But it also has a Mandalorian theme song. So that is coming out. You can get that now. It's 2 to 4 week processing time, though. So if you weren't aware, that got announced today, same as the other Mandalorian news. So I thought it was interesting. They were all announced on the same day.
All right. So let's talk more about the ad dollars drying up, because this is something I did talk about the other day with a lot of these pop culture sites. I think because they're bankrolled by movie studios, that they're going to see a decrease in ad spend, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it now. All these outlets are laying people off. Hollywood Reporter, Dick Clark Productions, Billboard, and Vibe are affected. We've got Condé Nast. This is on top of some of the other outlets I talked about. Vox. Vox is going to potentially lay off 100 more people.
LA Times. I think
LA Times was one. Yes, LA Times.
Yeah. And Orlando Weekly already did.
Yep. And it's, it's just all the media outlets are getting, obliterated too, because again, this just shows how much Hollywood bankrolled, I think, how much Hollywood bankrolled these media outlets. Now, it's not all because of Hollywood, because a lot of business segments were affected, but you look at a lot of these websites, the pop culture sites, and most of the advertisements are for movies, for TV shows.
Well, a lot of them are Hollywood based, like the Hollywood Reporter and stuff like that. They're based on Hollywood news. Well, there wasn't much news to report, and then the ad revenue is gone. So when it comes to things like movies or travel, the ad revenue is taking a huge hit.
So we're going to see a lot of changes, and I think with, and we're going to do another video on the comic book industry, but I think with the comic book industry being in flux too, I think we're going to see a lot of, between the movies and the comic books, we're going to see a lot of these pop culture blogs fold. And this is why all of a sudden now they're trying to sound like the YouTubers, because the YouTubers, a lot of them will probably weather this, whereas these blogs are not going to be able to weather the storm because they depend on the ad spend.
Right.
So
it's just a big old mess.
It's a mess.
And what we're talking about tying Disney is because Disney is in the travel vertical, and as you know, we made it very clear, our background before this was a lot of Disney influencer programs and things. We never quite fit in because we don't do that whole smile, and drink it away, pixie duster stuff. We just don't do it. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things we like, but there's a lot of things we don't like, and we just aren't the type to not speak about it, which, you know, gets us in trouble.
Yeah, but we do well on YouTube because, you know, we just kind of let it fly. But anyway, look for this to end. I'm just like, what are these Disney YouTubers that spend all their time live streaming from the parks? What are they going to do?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Well, apparently a bunch of them got together and sang Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. I mean, you know, because that's what people are clamoring for.
I just, you know, and again, there are some good people who do, you know, the Disney thing that I've you know, been
There's some good YouTubers that we think are cool people. We've watched their shows and they do a good job.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are cool people who are honest people who are going to get, you know, caught up in this too, which is really unfortunate. I'm not saying that every YouTuber, every influencer on Instagram and that are crabby people.
No.
That's not what we're saying at all.
No, not at all.
I'm saying there's a lot of tone deaf people out there who are very up their own asses and up Disney's ass as far as they can go too. And those are the people I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a lot of them that are fair and that they're, you know, really cool people.
Yeah, I just think it's going to change things. And the last thing I think a lot of people are going to be thinking about after this blows over is like, let's go someplace really crowded and spend a lot of money.
Actually, it's funny. I'm on some of these, not funny, but like haha, but funny, ironic. I'm on these Disney blogs and people are like, they get mocked like crazy. People said, you know, even if it opens again, I'm thinking of moving my trip to next year because, yeah, it opens again, but you're still, you know, it's going to be limited capacity and all that. You're still around a lot of people. And I don't know if it's worth the risk because, you know, what happened in China, they started reopening things and then people started getting sick again.
Yeah.
And they just said they'd rather wait until, you know, next year when there might be more crowds, but they aren't putting themselves at risk. They get mocked for it right and left. People make jokes about it because, you know, ha ha ha, we're still going. And that's cool, go ahead. But there's a lot of people who are just concerned, and it's fair and valid to have those concerns, and it's fair and valid to not. I mean, it's up to your personal, you know, way you are.
People laughed at us when we said that the parks would probably get shut down for an extended period of time.
Oh, no, it won't. It's going to open on April 1st. April Fool's Day.
Yeah, April Fool's.
I thought that was funny. Yeah, no, and it's still shut down. And now it's a very good chance it's going to shut down for a considerable amount of time. They just canceled more cruises today.
Yep.
They're canceled through June 7th on some of them. I expect cruises to open even later. But I would, except the government is now trying to soften the restrictions on cruise lines.
That doesn't even make sense. The cruise lines already, I think, are kind of skirting the law at this point because they register them in other countries. And they don't have the same standards that the U.S.-based company would.
But I'm wondering if they won't get them open up earlier. But we know from what we're hearing from the you know, Surgeon General of Florida and the Governor of California that they're gonna try to enforce it and keep it locked down. Sadly, we're in PA and they're already trying to find ways to you know, get things open because our unemployment is I think worse than what's going on in Florida right now.
Yeah.
So it's just a nightmare the whole way around, and I feel for everybody caught up in it. I don't want to see anybody except for a couple people go down for for this because it's not anybody's fault. It's you know act of God type thing, but they're going to, and we've been calling this for a while now.
Yeah,
it's been very tone deaf, very narcissistic, very me, and you know what works with people is they want to see themselves there. They don't want to see you there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and a lot of people right now with the economy being the way that it is, and it's going to get worse, they might not see themselves spending that kind of money anytime soon.
Right.
$5,000, especially if you're going to go and it's not going to be the full experience because there are going to be heavy restrictions. There are going to be parks closed,
not just in
closed.
Disney. We're talking at tourist destinations in general.
Right. And this is the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there were other articles I read about the airlines. They're hanging on by their fingertips.
Oh, yeah, I've been hearing that too.
90% drop in revenue and stock prices. Nobody's traveling. So it's pretty bad. And, you know, entertainment industry is dead in the water too. You know, it's pretty scary for sure. So are we going to wrap this up?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll talk to you guys later. We'll keep you posted on the situation. Just look for a lot of things to be very, very different on the other side of it.
I'm sure Kneon's gonna have to edit this heavily because I had comments you're never gonna hear because they were, you know, they weren't probably appropriate for YouTube. So
yeah, yep. There's the LA Times. All right, yeah, that's it. The ad revenue's nearly eliminated. Yep, it's bad. All right, guys, we'll talk later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.